Hello and welcome to another episode of Living Off the Slab. Last weekend, myself and several members of my riding club, the Seaway Victory Riders, headed up to Clayton, New York for the Victory Motorcycle Club's 2013 Northeast Rally. The rally was put on by the St. Lawrence Seaway chapter of the Victory Motorcycle Club. With Clayton, New York, as I wasn't before we went on this ride, pull out your trusty Harley-Davidson Road Atlas and you'll find it way up here near Lake Ontario, right on the St. Lawrence Seaway. The route for day one would take us across Massachusetts on Route 122. From there, we would pick up Route 2 and then Interstates 91 and 89 into Burlington, Vermont, where we would spend the night. Okay, so we're at our first stop to pick up some extra riders. It's starting to drizzle a little bit, so we're going to put our rain gear on and then get back on the road and head up towards Burlington. For the entire first day, we were pretty much riding in the rain. It did clear up about the last hour or so before we headed into Burlington, Vermont, but the rest of the day was pretty wet. Now, even though it was raining the entire time, or most of the time, we really didn't have very much of a problem at all. The bikes handled great in the rain. We were able to cruise along about 65 miles an hour. And I'll tell you what, I cannot sing the praises of my trusty blue steed here, my Victory Vision, anymore. It just absolutely handled great, and the protection from the environment is fantastic on these bikes. on our way to Clayton, New York this morning, and we're just heading over Lake Champlain. We stopped alongside the road here to take some photo ops, and then we're going to head up Grand Isle and then cross over into northern New York, probably an hour or so, and then we should be in Clayton by this afternoon. For day 2 of the trip, we were heading from Burlington, Vermont over to Clayton, New York. Now to get there, we were heading up Route 2 through Lake Champlain, across Grand Isle, where then we were going to pick up Route 11 in New York to Route 37, and then into Route 12, and finally to Clayton. The ride across New York into Clayton was really beautiful. It goes through a lot of small towns, farmland, and we even had a nice, interesting experience with a windmill farm as we were driving through. My wife and I both commented that the road going into Clayton really reminded us a lot of Nova Scotia. There's nice little farmlands and farmhouses, and then you can see the St. Lawrence Seaway off to your right. And I said that reminded us of, again, riding through Nova Scotia and seeing the Bay of Fundy on our right-hand side and all the nice little farmhouses and things that exist up there. For day 3 of the trip, the guys from the St. Lawrence Seaway chapter of the Victory Motorcycle Club took everybody on a nice little ride up to a lighthouse where we had some opportunity to take pictures and so forth. And then they took us into a small town there where we were able to get on a boat and actually cruise the St. Lawrence Seaway. Now, to tell you the truth, this was really a nice little trip that we had up there. I'd never been up there, and I never got to see or learn anything about that area of New York. So it was interesting to see all of the literal castles and mansions and things that are built on those 1,000 islands that they have in the St. Lawrence Seaway near Lake Ontario. After returning from the boat trip on the St. Lawrence Seaway, we were treated to an evening of pulled pork and good music, and basically sitting around and talking with our fellow members of the Victory Motorcycle Club. Unfortunately, we all had to hit the bed kind of early because we were going to get up at 6 o'clock in the morning to hit the road and hopefully beat the rain that was going to be coming in across the Ohio Valley. Now, we did have one little misadventure on our trip home, and that is with this stuff, gasoline. Turns out that one of the guys on the trip wasn't on his regular bike, which was a Victory Vision, just like the rest of us who were on the trip. But he had to rent, because his bike was in the shop, a Victory Cross Country Tour, which has a slightly smaller gas tank. So as we're cruising along, and I think everybody has about a gallon of gas left to get to the next gas station without any problem, he comes screaming up alongside me, pointing to his gas can. So we got off the road, and Fred, the gentleman in question, had to go off and find some gas while we went up to the next stop and waited for him. Well, it turned out that the road to get to the gas station where he got off was a lot farther than it would have been if he would have just stayed on the road with us and made it to the next station. But we were all able to get back together again and head into Boston with no problems. So now that we're back home, we've had a little time to rest, and it's finally the weekend again. It's time to get all these bugs off the bike. Time to wash her up. Oh, and don't forget to follow us on Facebook at Living Off the Slab, or you can follow us on YouTube as well.